Hey guys, what's going on? We're Dragon Ball Doom. My name is Austin.
And I'm Colton.
And today we are going to be looking at the good, the bad, and the interesting for the first episode of Dragon Ball Super. Now, Dragon Ball Super was released about 3 days ago, but the reason we didn't make a review that day is we didn't want to be overhyped and have that skew our perception of the episode. We wanted a nice, solid, and precise
Analytical view
of the episode. Now we're going to start off, Colton, the good.
One major good for me is the animation quality. I really enjoyed it. It was very pleasing to my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, people were saying that it was, not that interesting, but I was like, okay, it's not going to be as good as, say, Battle of Gods and Fugatsu no F. That makes sense. It's an animation. It's a TV show, not a movie. But I kind of liked it because it was a lot more laid back, kind of kick back, day in the life kind of style. It wasn't all over the top fire and explosions.
Just like what you said, though, those two movies are major motion pictures. Like, there is a lot of money put on the line for those movies. But this show, they just wanted to make it good, make it look good enough so we could just take it in with our eyeballs and understand it.
It was very crisp. The scene with Goten and Trunks fighting the snake had this cool animation to it, and the fight scene, even though it was kind of short and there wasn't a lot going on, it still looked really cool, like when Trunks was just laying it into him.
Now what do you want to talk about now?
The comedy. That's a huge plus, because that brings back the Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball.
It was more whimsical, just like Dragon Ball would be, instead of Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z had more of a serious undertone with the destruction of the whole world on the line most of the time, but Dragon Ball had more of a fun, magical vibe to it, and I really enjoyed how the episode brought back the comedy with Master Roshi at the end.
Yeah, that my personal favorite part of the episode was when Master Roshi was like, "Whoa, wait, you got all this money, now we got to get all this porn." Know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised that Master Roshi still likes porn. I mean, men of his age usually have erectile dysfunction.
Oh my god! All right, Cole, what was your favorite comedic bit?
My favorite comedic bit was whenever Hercule was talking to all the reporters, and Boo came out and was like, "Boo hungry!"
Oh yeah, and he made him look like a little asswipe.
They were all like, "What, is this person stronger than you?" And he's like, No, I'm the strongest in the universe. He wants to be trained by me.
Yeah, that was definitely a plus. One good thing about the episode, a lot of people were expecting this huge build up, this huge climactic episode, and I didn't. Of course that wouldn't be the case. It's the first episode for a series in 18 years. I just wanted a nice kickback, introduce all the characters, keep it nice and slow, kind of, as I said, day in the life.
Just like the first episode of Dragon Ball Z, which I believe was...
No, the first episode of Dragon Ball. The first episode of Dragon Ball. The first episode of Dragon Ball Z, Raditz was there, and it was like, boom.
I'm pretty sure it was Gohan and Goku fishing.
No. It was the episode that Raditz showed up, and they were on... Anyways, back on the topic. So yeah, it was really kicked back. They introduced all the characters, and what do you have to say about that?
I mean, they introduced enough characters. This is kind of getting into the bad now. I think they didn't introduce enough characters, but, I mean, you can beg to differ on that.
I mean, I feel that they introduced a good amount, because if they introduced, too many, it wouldn't give them enough, development and kind of introduce them. They did a good job with what they had. Next episode, it's going to be focused on Vegeta and his side of the family, so it's a good portion of them. So I think that's good. So
they cut it right in half, one episode for Goku and then one episode for Vegeta.
Perfect. Yeah. Half of the Saiyans, the other half of the Saiyans. So now we're gonna get into the bad. Colton, what do we have for the bad?
For the bad, I don't remember.
We have nothing for the bad.
The bad is
honestly there were some things that some people were disappointed about. As I said, the action.
A lot of people were disappointed about how Goten drove off the cliff and Goku had to save him, but I mean, it's completely understandable that, Goten would have been taken off guard by driving off the cliff, and he would have paused in astonishment, and then Goku saved him.
And honestly, Goten could have just flown. He probably would have snapped it together, flown it up, or if he hit the ground, whoop-de-doo, he'd be fine. Goku just had the ability to teleport there. Why would he just be like, okay, I'm just gonna let my kid fall off this cliff? And plus, he didn't want to ruin his tractor, so he just did what was logically, I mean, come on. That's just stupid.
I mean, a lot of people complain about it, but I mean, in my book, it's fine.
Now, on to the interesting. We are going to start off talking about how Beerus was actually introduced in the first episode. I mean, if you watch the manga, I mean, if you watch
the manga,
if you read the manga, you would know that Beerus was in it. But I'm gonna kind of swoop that into the episode as a whole. I was really surprised that they were introducing Beerus so quickly, and that means that this Battle of Gods arc is not going to be, well, it could still be long, but at least it won't be super dragged out, so we can get into that sixth universe.
Well, I mean, the thing is, really though, we pretty much know what's gonna happen in the Battle of Gods arc. I mean,
unless they change it,
which I don't really think they're gonna change it all that much. They might change it, like, a little bit of a lot, but not all that much.
A little bit of a lot, but not all that much. So, I found that really interesting. Also, I thought it was funny how he only destroyed half the planet. I don't know if the manga was made before or after, but in the manga, he destroyed the whole planet, if I remember. And then another difference between the manga was... This was one thing under the bad that I kind of want to mention, but I couldn't remember. In the manga, they showed that Goku was, like, in his imagination fighting Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu, and I thought that was really cool, but during the animation, they didn't actually include that, which was a little bit of a disappointer.
I mean, I really would have liked to see that, because it would have just brought back the feels.
Dude, the nostalgia boner would just be there.
The feels, like, I mean, you couldn't even be, like, in the same room as me, because, like, I'd be pitching a tent so hard, like, straight up.
Straight up. So, that was our first impressions of the episode. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we close this out?
No, that's pretty much it.
So remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to do that, because that'd be pretty saucy. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Saucy indeed.